Well, hey guys, and I'm sad again. I just realized that the mechanism isn't doing what I think it's doing. Look what happens when I pull the switch. The lightstone block, the glowstone moves up one block. It doesn't move up 2 blocks. And I'll show you what's happening. See that? Push down, pull up. Yeah, but what happens is, it pushes down, but it doesn't pull back up. It doesn't stick. Like, it only sticks one block in front of it. Even if it's like that, it won't stick the second block back up again. So now I have a decision to make. Either I leave it, because I mean it works, right? You know, having the glowstone move up one block, it still works. Or I try to make some fancier circuitry to make it work. And by fancier circuitry I mean, instead of having it just push down and pull up, I'll have it push down, and then when you pull up, it needs to retract this one, then retract this one, then push and pull this one again. So that, if you imagine, it pulls that and then it activates this one again, just the pulse. And then it'll pull it up to the second block. But I have no idea how to do that at the moment, although I'm sure I can figure it out. And then I have to decide whether it's even possible to retrofit that onto here. So yeah, that's I don't know if I should just leave it or not. In fact, I wouldn't leave it. I mean, there's no point having 2 layers of pistons if only one of them is actually doing anything. I might as well just remove the second layer of pistons and just have the one, and that would work just fine, and it wouldn't be as thick and it wouldn't take up as much space. So I'll think about this for a bit. Sad. Pistons make me sad. They don't do what I want. Alright, let me think about this. Okay, so I got it to work. It's a little bit complicated, but not too complicated. I was going to record me trying to figure it out, but then I kind of figured it out before I recorded it. Anyway, those 2 pistons are the ones we're looking at. And on, off. You see, when it turns off, it does that little thing at the end. You can't see it very well actually. That's why I built this thing here. We'll get closer. So on and off. So because it does that little kick at the end when it turns off, it will pick up the block again. So when you turn it on, it pushes. Yep, that's all good. Turn it off. So it pulls up, and obviously, as we saw earlier, you know, it doesn't pull the dirt block all the way up, but then it kicks again, which picks it back up. Actually, if that's not clear, I can delay it a bit more here. I'm sure you can see what I mean, but if I delay it a few more ticks, then it'll probably be a bit easier to see. Yeah. So when it pulls back up, it does a little kick. It's a pulse, it's called. And then all the circuits I've just been looking up, well, I didn't look up the whole circuit, but I've been looking up the gates on Minecraft Wiki. If you know what that is, I can don't know if how many of you are interested in more advanced redstone circuits. I mean, the stuff I'm making isn't all that advanced, but it's not too bad. So, hold on. Yep. So, Minecraft wiki.net, and what you want to look for is redstone circuits. That's the name of the page, basically. And so, alright, so what's going on here? Ignoring this bit, I'm going to demolish it now because I've already shown you what that does. So don't need that anymore. Alright, and the lever goes there. So what's going on here? The top one, it goes straight with a delay and then straight to the top. So the top one's quite simple. You turn it on, it turns on, turn it off, it turns off. But after a 4-tick delay. The bottom one, firstly there's this, I can turn off the pulsar actually. So if I do that, then see, it doesn't pick up back up again. So this is basically similar to what I had earlier, but it works properly now instead of exploiting the fact that it changes position. This redstone here, it'll trigger both of these positions. So if I put a torch there, that's actually activated. And then if I put a thing here, it's also actually no. What am I saying? That's not activated. Never mind. I'm just tripping here. So if we remove that, so when I turn it on, in that position, it activates, and in this position, it also activates. So it basically powers 2 blocks. Because, this redstone here, the way because it's pointing straight across, it'll power this block, but because it's resting on this, it powers this dirt block. This dirt block is powered also, and which means that it will power this when it's adjacent to it. So it'll power both these positions. Right? So here we have an AND gate, AND AND. So what happens is when both of the inputs are lit up, then the output will be lit up. If either one is not lit up, then it won't. Now I've just put a delay on one of the inputs. So what that means is when it switches on, there'll be a delay before it turns on. But when I switch it off, it will switch off immediately. Well, after 1 tick, because it takes 1 tick for that to switch. But so it turns on slower than it turns off, which is important because we do want it to turn on slower than it turns off. We want it to wait until this one has pushed down before it turns on, but when it turns off, we want it to turn off before this one turns off. So we want the timing difference between turning on and off, and the AND gate along with the delay allows that to happen. And note that this is a 4-tick delay, and that's a 3-tick delay, so Actually 3 and then 4 anyway, so it adds up. And I've made it so that, you know, that's about as fast as we can get. Now this thing here, if I join that up and then remove that, that is a pulse. And it's only a pulse when it turns off, I believe. So if you turn it on, well, let's get rid of that as well. So when you turn it on, nothing happens because this signal is switched with that signal and that stays off. Yeah, but if you turn it on, it pulses because of the way, you know, that works. So, you know, that one of them turns on before the other. You can see it. Like when the signal is off, it's slower. Or it switches off slower than it switches on. So yeah, that provides the pulse. And of course the pulse is on a 4-tick delay, and this adds another tick to it. So when you add all of this up, you end up with the two combined. So when you turn it on, the bottom one is activated after the top one, and then when you turn it off, the bottom one turns off, and then the top one turns off, and then the pulse kicks in just after that. And what you end up with is the ability to move this block here up and down by 2. So technically it is now possible to move the lightstone 2 blocks. So as I showed you before, well, now the lightstone, when the lightstone is on, it's flush with the half stone blocks, or the half stone half blocks. When you turn it off, it only pulls it up by 1 because of that problem with the piston. So you see it's moved up 1 block. I wanted to move up 2 blocks. Now I can do it, technically I can do it with that, but the problem is that I need to change the circuitry, because I needed to point into each and every one of the pistons. So let's go down there. Actually, let's go up, because the 2 layers are pretty much the same. So I need to remake the circuits, because as you can see, I'm relying on the redstone activating this block. Oh, actually, I'm relying on the redstone activating the blocks next to the pistons to power them. And if you do that, so that would power that piston, but it won't power a piston up on top of it, so it won't power the sand. It will power the sand like that because it points straight at it, but if it runs beside it, then it won't. And I don't have any way of... I don't have any easy way of making everything point to a piston. So I need to figure out how I'm going to manage to do that. If I can manage to do that. If I can't, then this won't work at all. If I can, then we can... yeah, if it works, then we can keep going. If it doesn't work, then it won't work. So let me think about this. I mean, the other problem is solved. Let me think about this problem. Okay, this is really difficult. Anyway, I'll try to explain what's going on. This is the power input, as it is. And what's going on here is I'm supplying power to 2 blocks. So this wire powers this block, this wire powers this block. And what happens is that if the piston is there, it's powered, and if it's on the one above it, it's also powered. Because, you know, both of these blocks are powered. And that works fairly well on the 4 edges. Right, at the corners this is slightly more difficult. Here, that block is powered. And then above it we have this block being powered. So in this part, both of those, so it's that power and that power. And then here it's this block is powered and that block is powered. So again, whether the piston is there or there, it's receiving power. And it goes for all 4 sides, so the outside is working in the sense that I can get the same power to 2 blocks for each of these where I need the pistons. But as you can see, it's taking up basically twice as much room as before. I'm using all of this area here for the circuitry. Which brings me to this part, which I really don't think is even possible. Trying to do the same thing here. I might give up on that and only do it with the center 8 and not bother with these. Or if I can't get all of them, I won't bother with all of them. I'll just do as many as I can. So some of them will retract 2 blocks and some of them will retract 1. Anyway, here's what I'm thinking I'll do for these. Well, the middle 8. Let's see, where can I get power from? I am getting power from here, I believe. I'm getting power from what? Okay, that's wrong. That's meant what? Yeah, that's wrong. So wait, what's going on? How is this getting power? How is this block getting power? I am confused. Is that putting power through there? Does that mean what? Oh wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, I see how it is. Okay, so apparently that powers both of those. And here I was thinking I was clever